We'll see what happens here. We're underway, and the puck goes deep in the Massena zone right off the bat. And the Raiders defenseman, Brandon Hall, picking it up, moving it ahead. And to the blue line, out to center ice it goes off the stick of Michaud. Back to Oswego territory. Straley, the defenseman, picks it up and bangs it. It goes off a stick up into the stands. And is that Babe LePage? Oh, boy, there he goes, picking up the puck and sending it back on the ice.
The
Grandpa Babe.
Grandpa Babe. The Romney Fieldhouse, the ice runs north and south. We're on the east side, and the Raiders are defending the goal to our right, the north end.
Face-off just outside Oswego territory. Raiders with a Whitcup line out there. Puck dumped deep by Toth, picked up by the Oswego defense. That's Seth Williams. He moves it to the blue line, and it trickles out to center ice. Into the Massena zone it goes, and into the corner after it there is Papa, the first-line center for Oswego. Raiders knock it away, though. It comes to Ramo. He just looks to tie it up along the boards. There's a battle there. Papa's in there battling for it. And the defenseman, Seth Williams, way up, and he pokes it around the boards into the corner. Puck dumped right back by the Buccaneers. In behind the net, it comes to Papa in the corner. He sets up shop, goes back on the other side to his winger. That's Miller, and Miller centers it right in front, and it goes on DeLille. He's going to make the save. Dusty getting the start today, having a night off last night in Rome, and hardly recognize him. Dusty has a new helmet out there.
Coach Mike Trimbley in your pregame mentioned that it was gut check time last night. Good win for the Raiders, up 3-0, then 4-2, and see that dissipate, but come back with that big goal in the third period. Good win.
Going to hear that conversation between periods because we didn't have time for it in the pregame. But the puck comes off the face-off to the blue line, out to center ice. Here comes Chris Levine. Levine backhanding it into the Oswego zone. Picked up there and dumped right back out to center ice. It trickles right in, and DeLille will stop it as it's headed actually to the side of the net, but Dusty covers up with a couple of Buccaneers coming in on him. No score. We're just underway here. We played about a minute 15 in the first period. No score on the Corky's Collision scoreboard.
This line of Tubalino, Katanzrik, Levine, what a night last night. 8 points, 4 goals. Fantastic game.
Not too bad at all, that's for sure. Off the face-off, puck in the corner. Massena zone in behind the net. Bouncing to, well, it goes wide into the corner again. Finally, it's poked free, comes to Levine, and he moves it ahead. Here comes Adam Katanzari into the zone. He's got Tubalino, feeds him in front. Tubalino shot, save made by goaltender Ryan Molinari. Great 2-on rush for Massena. They just couldn't finish it.
Oh, just a great breakout pass. Robbie Whitcup up to Adam Katanzari, created the 2-on-1, and Katanzari, nice feathery pass to Nick Tubalino at the top of the circle, walked right in, and Molinari made a great save. I was chalking that one up, super save. Watching him in pregame, Jerry, Nate Molinari and Ryan Molinari, he's not very big, but quick, good hands. Great save.
Rupert's line out there now for the Massena Red Raiders. Rupert out there with Zach Dupree and Aaron Ramo off the faceoff back to the point. Here's a drive from the point. Olsen, and it's deflected just wide. Puck comes in the mesh. Off the mesh. Ramo with it. Ramo behind the net, gets checked out of the play, and the puck taken away from him, and around the boards it goes to the blue line out to center ice. Here comes Mitchell Davis with it. He flips it ahead to Nate Hyde. Hyde has it knocked away, comes back along the blue line to the point. The shot dumped in behind the net. After it there is Hyde again, looks to center it, nobody back at the point, and all the way down the ice it goes inside Oswego territory. Seth Williams back to pick it up for the Buccaneers to the blue line, kept in. And in behind the net, it's Derek Rupert dumping it there. Picked up again by Williams, the defenseman. He'll flip it to a forward, and they start to move it out. Here come the Buccaneers to the blue line, kept in. Rupert steps by the check. We have a whistle. What do we got?
I'm sure if it's an equipment playing with a broken stick, possibly. We'll wait and see. The Oswego player number 16, Scott Mary, tried to clear the zone and his stick broke, and he continued to play with the shaft, and the official right there, and that's what it's going to be. Raiders going to go on a power play. Jerry, they say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and Zach Dupree out there, he just leveled number 23, Pierce Smith, a big defenseman, and put him right on his backside. Wow, just like his dad used to do.
That was a couple of years ago, Coach.
A couple of years ago, but I'll tell you.
Now, of course, his dad's on the other side of the aisle with those zebra stripes. Raiders on the power play here. First power play of the game. Michaud can't keep it in the zone. It comes out to center ice, trickles to the Massena line, where Nick Toth gathers it in. Here's Toth, moving it ahead. Whitcup Whitcup to Ramo. That's Ryan Ramo, excuse me. Ryan takes it and dumps it deep in behind the net. Goes in around the boards. Whitcup throws a check to Levine. It goes back to the 45. Ramo with it. Ramo flipping in the corner for Levine to Whitcup. Whitcup gets checked. The puck squirts free along the boards. Levine coming in to help out, takes it. Here's Levine in the corner, trying to get it back to Whitcup at the 45. Now Whitcup moves to the circle. Here's Whitcup. Centering pass goes right on. And Chris Levine was there, but he couldn't get his stick down. He was tied up by the defenseman. It trickled right in on Molinari, and he holds on for the faceoff.
Raiders not too successful on the power play last night. I think they were 0 for 2, 0 for 3. But one of the things on the dump in, if you're going to dump the puck, you want to make sure that you're going to get in there and control it. And they were dumping it in last night, and Rome had no problem getting there first, retrieving it, and clearing the zone.
Whitcup will take the faceoff now to the right side of Molinari off the draw. Puck sits in the circle. Ryan Ramo gets it to Levine. Levine has it poked away. Whitcup comes up with it, though. Takes it into the corner. Back to Ramo at the 45. To Nick Toth at the point. He's got room. He winds up. Shot. Didn't get through. Picked up by Levine. Levine goes to Ramo. Back to Toth at the point. Toth on the other side. Michaud shot. Save made. Puck sits in front, and Molinari dumps out and flips it into the corner. Picked up by the Lakers and by the Buccaneers, and down the ice it goes. Now the puck cleared to the blue line. Here comes Whitcup. Headman pass right on the stick of Michaud. Steps by the check. He's got some room. Takes it deep in the corner. Here's a pass right across the goal mouth. I think the goalie got a piece of it. Molinari back to Toth at the point. Flips to Michaud. Jumped over his stick into the corner. We're down to about 6 seconds left in the man advantage. The puck bounces free into the slot, but it's going to be Oswego moving it out to center ice. Toth is there to dump it right back in the zone, but the penalty has elapsed, and the puck goes around the boards, and it's cleared to the blue line by the Buccaneers. Not out, though. Stolen away. Here's McDonald. Gets a shot that goes off a leg into the corner. Now Tobolino throws a check. The puck squirts free. In behind the net. Picked up there by Seth Williams, the defenseman. He flips in the corner. McDonald, he'll dump it back on the other side. Picked up again by Williams for Oswego. He'll pass it around. The horn it goes. Kept in there again by Catanzari to McDonald. Back to Catanzari. Here's Adam. Sets it. Centers it in front, but it hit the goalie's stick and bounces back to their defenseman. They'll move it out to center ice. Here comes Oswego into the Massena zone. Nice drop pass, but it's intercepted by McDonald. And I'll tell you what, McDonald's showing some added play here the last couple of games. Here come the Buccaneers again as they try to center it. It goes in behind the net. Some good defensive play made there by Aaron Leduc. Now the puck in behind as they battle for it there. In the corner it goes. Leduc after it for Massena. Picks up the loose puck, flips it ahead. No score in the hockey game on the Corky's Collision scoreboard. Puck in the Massena zone. Leduc, he'll flip it on the other side for Brian Hatch. Hatch, headman pass. Tubolino just deflects it out to center ice, and McDonald picks it up. McDonald, he's bodied off the play. Tubolino gets a stick on it, though. Comes back to the Oswego line, where the Buccaneers' Lloyd picks it up. Here's Lloyd down the left sideline. He'll dump it deep in the Massena zone. Dusty DeLeo leaves it in behind for Derek Rupert. Rupert in the corner for Toth. Toth flips it on the boards ahead to McDonald. He bangs it ahead to the neutral zone. It's going to trickle back in Oswego territory. Does it go far enough for icing? It does. The whistle blows, and the faceoff will move back in Massena territory. 9:18 left in the first period on the Corky's Collision scoreboard. We have a 0-0 tie.
Eric McDonald filling in for Chris Levine after that power play, rotating in with Nick Tubolino and Adam Catanzari. Great shift, used their body out there, great forechecking, punishing the Oswego defense and creating a couple of good scoring opportunities.
Plass out there for Oswego with McNamara and Kelly. Face off in the Massena zone. Rupert for the Red Raiders. Rupert out there with Zach Dupree and Aaron Ramo. And the face-off will be to the left side of goaltender Dusty DeLeo. And I don't know what the...
equipment repair. Mike Curley went to the locker room.
Okay, off the face-off. Puck comes in behind the net. Around the boards. That's Chad Southwick getting a little ice time today. In behind. Southwick takes a whack at it. Ramo's in there digging for it. And Ramo comes away with the puck. To Rupert. Rupert just banks it off the boards out to the neutral zone. Straley dumps it right back in. Intercepted. Southwick. He'll look on the wing. Here come the Raiders breaking out. Long pass intercepted by Williams. Williams, not very big, but you can tell he's a good defenseman. Puck dumped to Williams again in the Oswego zone. He'll dump it ahead down the ice. Goes off a leg of Nick Toth all the way in the Massena zone as the Buccaneers make changes. Toth picks up the loose puck. Here's Nick Toth. On the wing it goes to Ramo. Ramo trying to poke it into the corner. Knocked away. Back comes Oswego the other way. Down the ice it goes inside Massena territory. Toth throws a check. The puck bounces in behind the net and into the corner it goes. Still in the Massena zone. Toth takes a whack at it, trying to come up with it. He does. Here's Toth off the glass. Actually didn't hit anything. It's going to be icing on Massena as it goes all the way down the ice. The Raiders running around a little bit in their own end that time.
But again, Captain Nick Toth doing those little things, heads up, smart hockey. Raiders again needing to change, running around in their own end. Hasn't got a clear outlet pass, so what does he do? He dumps it, takes the icing, gets a complete line change. Smart move. Face off deep in the Massena end to the right of Dusty DeLeo.
Papa out there with his line mates, Ben Miller and Joel Krause. Massena with the Whitcup line. Whitcup, Michaud, and Ramo off the draw. Oswego wins it. Here's a shot from the point. It's fired wide. Michaud, banks it, trying to get it out of the zone. Still inside Massena territory. Here's the shot. It's blocked by Leduc. Aaron Leduc flips it ahead for Michaud. Michaud, nice headman pass to Whitcup. Coming in on the off wing. Whitcup shot, scores a goal! Robbie Whitcup right over Molinari's shoulder, glove side, and the Raiders take a 1-0 lead. A beautiful feed from Aaron Michaud.
Oh, outstanding pass. Aaron Michaud just just inside his own blue line, banked it off the boards to Robbie Whitcup down that left side, and he had Ryan Ramo as a decoy on that right side. Molinari wasn't sure if he was going to shoot or pass, and from a pretty tough angle on that left side, Robbie Whitcup picked the top right-hand corner just underneath the crossbar, and that's going to be Robbie's 10th goal of the year, coming with 7:50 left in that first period. Michaud will get one assist. We'll see if there's any others. I don't think so.
Off the face-off, here comes Whitcup again, but it's knocked off his stick. Comes out to center ice, and Aaron Leduc took a whack at it, but it bounced off the forward of Oswego's stick up into the stands, and we'll have another face-off. So Whitcup gets the goal. Michaud gets an assist. We'll wait on the announcement if there is another assist, but that was a pretty goal.
Pretty goal, nice feed pass, nice shot, outstanding, and it's nice to get on the board early and first like they did last night.
Yeah, Leduc picked up an assist as well, so he apparently started the play. Here comes Massena's Levine to Katan's backhander. He fired it just wide, and I mean just wide. Puck in the corner. Nice feed from Chris Levine. Puck back to the blue line and out to center ice. Hatch tried to pinch in and keep it in. He couldn't, but Leduc covers up, takes the puck in his own end, banks it ahead all the way down the ice. Somebody touched it, though. They waved the icing off, and the Buccaneers have to come back after it. Calvarisi around the boards for Oswego. Toth keeping it in at the point, left side, dumps it in the corner. The bouncing puck in the circle, picked up by the Buccaneers, and they'll move it ahead. Long home run pass just goes off the stick of the rushing forward Hyde into the corner, and the Raiders catch a bit of a break there. Bouncing puck out by the blue line, and it's kept in at the point. Oh, hard check thrown. Here's the shot, a turnaround shot, and the save made by Dusty DeLeo. Out to center ice it goes. Headman pass, Levine off his skate. He comes back, picks it up, flips to the Oswego line. Buccaneers pick it up, and they try to move it ahead. That's Calvarisi. He'll drop to the other side. Out to center ice, intercepted Rupert. He waits for his wings and takes it across. Here's Rupert, gets by one, but he's knocked off stride. The puck goes bouncing in the corner. Rupert right after, looks to center it, but nobody home for Massena. And defenseman Seth Williams picks it up to the blue line. Toth whacks at it on the fly, goes in behind the net. Picked up there by Williams again. McDonald sparring with him. McDonald still battling for the puck. He's got it. Now it's taken away by Plass, the other forward, coming back to help out, and he'll move it out to center ice. The Buccaneers inside Massena territory it goes. In behind the net and across the open goal mouth, but nobody there for the Buccaneers, and the Raiders move it ahead. Not out of the zone, however. Dumped in behind the net again. Back after it there is Brandon Hall. Into the corner, knocked away. Comes bouncing free in front for Papa. Papa trying to center it, goes behind the net again. Papa goes back to the point with it. Here comes an opportunity for the defenseman. He fires the shot. It's blocked in the slot by Nick Toth. And we have a whistle and an interference behind the play, and I think that is going to go to Rupert.
Derek Rupert, play going up the ice and interfered with the Oswego player. Just prior to that, Eric McDonald making a cardinal sin, trying to give up the body, but he committed too soon, and the defenseman, Plass, just waited till he went down, walked right around him to the top of the circle, took the shot, but I think it was Captain Nick Toth that blocked it. But Oswego going on the power play here with 5:32 left in the first period.
Papa will take the face-off to the blue line, and out to center ice it goes. Michaud, he'll leave it, and the Buccaneers dump it back into their own zone. Seth Williams back after it. He'll pick it up there. Williams with it. He'll flip on the other side and get the pass right back again. It bounces by him. Coming back after it is Mike Papa. Here's Papa with it. trying to get the outlet pass, and it goes to Kraus. Kraus has it stolen away, gets it back again. Here's Papa following up, takes it in the Massena zone, looking to set it up in the corner. Passes it in behind the net over on the other side for Ben Miller. Miller back to the point. Here's a shot deflected in front. The shot, and Dusty makes an unbelievable save on Papa. I don't know how he kept that out of the net.
Oh, I'll tell you, neither do I. We're going to have a couple more penalties, I do believe. One of each, and Papa was had that one chalked up, and so did I. Puck came loose, shot from that right dot. Dusty makes a save, gives up the rebound. Papa going through the slot has got him down and out of position. He's got the empty net. Somehow Dusty got across and made the save. What a save to keep this a 1-0 hockey game. But Aaron Michaud along with Papa are going to pick up probably roughing penalties. And I know Papa had to be upset with not cashing in on that great opportunity.
Wow, I had it chalked up myself.
Boy.
Wide open net. Somehow Dusty got over and made the big save, so it remains 1-0. 52 seconds left in the man advantage for the Buccaneers. Ryan Ramo, will take the face-off. Back to the point it goes. Here's the shot, blocked, bounces into the corner. Now there's a battle for it there. Back to the point again. Here's the drive, right on, save made. Puck goes into the corner, and it's flipped to Ramo, who bounces it out to the Ramo. Ryan to Aaron, and it's out at center ice. Buccaneers recover there at their own blue line. And as they pass it back and forth along their own blue line, finally picking it up there is Straley, and he'll dump it off the boards into the Massena zone. 20 seconds left in the man advantage. Hatch flipping it to Ramo. Ramo trying to move it down the boards. He gets railed, but he stays with the puck, and finally it's taken away from him by Plass. Plass and Hatch sparring behind the net. There's a battle in the corner. The puck squirts back to the point. Fanning on the shot. The defenseman, he gets a second chance and fires it. It was wide, but Dusty DeLille gloves it and holds on as the penalty has elapsed, and the Raiders withstand a power play.
Aaron Leduc, great job. The shot came back to the point just prior to that. Nick Lloyd fired one through traffic. Dusty made the save, but gave up the rebound, and just as I think that was number 8 was going to put it away, Aaron Leduc flattened and put him on his backside. That's what you have to do. Goalie makes the first save. Don't let the opposition pick up the rebound.
Nick Tubolino out there to face off against Oliark, to the point. It's poke checked out to center ice, and Geehan after it has it stolen away, but it bounces free as Catanzarite almost on his own there. Here comes Oswego, the defenseman, breaking in the zone. Here's a shot, save made, Dusty DeLille, and there's a whistle. What was the whistle for?
I'm not sure.
The puck, I think they thought DeLille held on to the puck, but it was the defenseman, Seth Williams, with a nice rush. And yeah, that's what it was. They thought DeLille was going to hold on to the puck.
Great rush by Seth Williams, coast to coast. Got some speed, got some moves. Excellent.
Off the face-off. The puck bouncing out by the blue line. Levine comes away with it. Here's Levine, his headman intercepted. Right back comes Oswego. That's Brent Kelly, knocked away from him by Tubolino. And here comes Catanzarite. Jumped off his stick. He and Williams go into the boards. The puck squirts free. Levine's in there as well. It comes free in front, but it's picked up by the Buccaneers. A back checking forward, picking it up and flipping it around the boards to the blue line out to center ice. Here comes Kelly in on Toth. Kelly tries to take it wide, tries to stop. Toth just stays with him nicely, and the puck comes to Catanzarite. He gets sandwiched in the corner. Toth coming to help out to Tubolino. Back to Catanzarite, Adam breaking it out. Levine, here comes Chris Levine. He's got a partial break down the left wing side. Here's Levine, his shot. He didn't get much on it, and the save made by Molinari. And Levine's in the boards. Now the puck dumped back in the Massena zone. It's not going to go far enough for icing. Here's an opportunity in front, but it's knocked away by Brian Hatch. Puck back in the corner. Here's a chance in front all by himself. Shot. Dusty makes the save, and the puck goes in the corner as coming in on that one. Well, here it comes in front again. The backhander scores a goal. And the Buccaneers have tied it up as the Raiders dodged a couple of bullets, but not that last one.
And that's going to be number 16 will get the goal, Jerry. That's Scott Murray. Just prior to that, Nate Hyde had a wide open net, and he fired it up over the top of Dusty DeLille, and the Raiders running around in their own end, and Scott Murray picked up that loose puck, and he backhanded a low shot to the glove side, beat Dusty DeLille low to the glove side, and the Buccaneers have ratcheted up their game here in the last 4 or 5 minutes, now tied this hockey game.
1-1 tie hockey game here. Whitkup's line to Michaud. Here comes the official on the goal. Here comes Whitcup in front, knocked off his stick. And the puck in the corner behind the net. Whitcup trying to battle for it. It comes free. Back to the point and down the ice as I think we're going to have an icing call against Oswego. So Mary getting the goal and picking up the assist was Mitchell Davis.
Right, and Nate Hyde.
And Nate Hyde picked up the other assist, the tying goal to make it 1-1 hockey game on the Corky's Collision scoreboard. 2:11 left in the first period.
All that transpired after the Raiders had a great opportunity at one end. The Buccaneers coming back, putting pressure on, and Hyde just missed a great opportunity, but the Raiders didn't gain possession. Mary picked up the loose puck and beat Dusty DeLeo with a backhander.
Off the face-off, the puck out to center ice, trickles into the Massena zone, picked up by Olsen. He'll bounce past it in behind the net to Toth. Toth trying to come up with it. He can't quite get to it. Now bounces free. Whitcup helping out. Toth comes away with it to the blue line. Kept in by Williams. Deflected right on. Pretty good save by Dusty on the bouncer. But Raiders break it out of there. Here comes Whitcup picking up the loose puck at center ice. Barges his way through. And the puck gets through. He doesn't quite make it. But it bounces free. To the blue line. Poke checked out to center ice. To the Massena line. Picked up by Toth. He circles right back the other way. Headman intercepted. Here comes Oswego to the Massena line. Toth intercepts the pass there. Headmans it to Michaud. Michaud to Katanzarite, who's coming off the bench, and he dumps it deep in Oswego territory. Back after to Straley, the defenseman. His backhand pass just clears the zone. Leduc picks it up. Leduc. Headman pass. Levine, he just deflects it in the zone as the Raiders had to clear. It comes in behind to Seth Williams. Williams flips over on the other side as they break it to the blue line. Leduc waved at it, couldn't get the puck though. It comes to Hatch. Hatch circles back in his own line, threw it in front. It's knocked away, but finally following up is Leduc covering up, and the puck trickles back down into the Oswego zone. We're down into the final minute of the first period, a 1-1 tie hockey game on the Corky's Collision scoreboard. Puck bouncing to the blue line, kept in there by Katanzarite momentarily, now out to center ice. Picked up and knocked back into the Massena zone. Here comes Aaron Leduc with it. Banks it ahead to Tubolino. He overskates. Here comes Oswego back the other way. Got a man in the corner, got a man in front of the net, but Leduc breaks it up. Flips it to Katanzarite, and he pokes it ahead. Tubolino trying to stay with it. It goes off his stick deep in Oswego territory with 23 seconds left. Here come the Buccaneers breaking out to center ice. Headman pass goes bouncing into the Massena zone. Hall after it there, in behind the net. He spars with the Oswego forward as they battle for it. Oh, Levine just leveled somebody and steals the puck. Ouch. And Levine now, 2-on-2 with 5 seconds left. He'll dump it in the zone. And here comes Ramo trying to come up with it. It's going to be Chad Southwick playing the other point for Massena to start the period. And here we go. The puck is dropped and we're underway. Michaud picks it up, skates back to his blue line, takes it across the red line, gets by a check, takes it into the zone, trying to go to Whitcup. It's knocked away and flipped into the corner. Michaud takes a whack at it, can't come up with it. Ramo, he can't get it either, and back the other way come the Buccaneers. Into the zone is Krause, his pass knocked down, and Michaud banks it off the boards out to center ice. Now the puck bouncing free. Picked up there by Williams. He dumps it off the boards into the Massena zone. Here's an opportunity in front. The shot fired just wide by Ben Miller as he caught up with a puck but couldn't get it on net. Now the puck out by the blue line trickles to center ice. Nobody seems to want it. Finally, Michaud picks it up, flips it ahead. Michaud gets by one, gets by two. Off the boards. Unfortunately, he picked the part of the glass that goes into the penalty box where there's no glass, and that's where the puck ended up.
Aaron Michaud doing things coaches love to see. He was the first guy in on the forecheck and the first guy back on the back check. Super job. You got to play both ways, and he was on that shift out there.
Now we come out with the Tubolino line. Tubolino out there with Katanzarite and Chris Levine. Brandon Hall out there with Chris Olsen. On defense, it's the Plass line for Oswego off the draw. Here comes Levine, takes it in. On the right side, trying to flip it through, but it's knocked off his stick. Back after this Plass. In behind his own net, Katanzarite throws a check. The puck comes to Tubolino, and he has it taken right off his stick, and the Buccaneers break it out. Chris Olsen flips it ahead, the Oswego line, right back to the Massena line, but Katanzarite is there, get a stick on it, bouncing around, taken away from him, knocked into the zone, and here comes Oswego. That's Plass again. Centers it right across the goal mouth, but it didn't get anywhere. It just bounced into the corner. A headman goes to Tubolino. He flips it on the backhand down the ice. Got a little bit too much on it, and ice the call. 19:35 in the middle period on the Tom Post State Farm Insurance scoreboard. We're tied at 1.
Nick Tobolino, that last shift out there, he must have had at least 4 hits in that one shift. He hits everything in sight, just pounding those guys out there. And again, that's going to pay dividends. And a good defensive move by number 19, Brandon Hall. As you mentioned, that one went across the crease, but he had the Oswego forward tied up. Good defensive job.
Derek Rupert's line out there now for Massena off the faceoff, back to the point in the Massena zone on the icing. The shot is partially blocked, bounces in the circle. Rupert gets tied up, can't come up with it. The bouncer in the circle comes free, and it's picked up to the blue line, but not out of the zone, kept in there by Wise, the defenseman, who dumps it in behind the net. Still in the Massena zone. Puck bouncing in behind. Finally, Zach Dupree picks it up. He'll head man, where is it? Doesn't clear the zone. Comes out by the blue line, skates in front. Here's a chance, and the puck goes into the corner. Dusty went down way early, but he caught a break that time. Puck still in the zone, bounces into the slot again. And it's picked up again by the Massena D, and this time it's dumped down the ice. The Raiders, again, and they've been guilty of this all season, when they have a chance to clear the zone, they don't. They either put it in the wrong place or off somebody, and that almost bit them that time.
Well, what happened, they telegraphed, the defenseman in the corner telegraphed he was coming diagonally up the middle, and the Oswego defenseman read it, and number 12, Nate Hyde, missed another wide open net. He's missed one in the first period. He just missed a backhander again, had the wide open net after that turnover.
Yeah, Dusty went down a little bit early that time, and then that almost caught him. Face off in the Massena zone after the icing. It's Whitkup's line out there to Michaud. He banks it ahead to the neutral zone. Whitcup trying to come up with it. He can't. And back the other way come the Buccaneers. Right back in Massena territory. In the corner it goes behind the net. Olsen throws a check, comes up with a puck. Chris Olsen. Olsen moving it down to the blue line and out to center ice to Michaud. Michaud busts in on the off wing. Here's Aaron Michaud taking it in front, and he lost it right at the last second off the end of his stick in behind the net. But Whitcup picks it up there. Here's Whitcup right across the goal mouth. It bounces right on top of the mesh in behind the net. And into the corner it goes. Whitcup again throwing a check. The puck comes to Ramo. Ramo lost it, but it goes back to Olsen at the point. Olsen trying to slide it through. Still in the zone, and it just trickled back out across the blue line. Where Michaud picks it up to Whitcup. He busts across to Michaud. Michaud centering pass to Ramo, and he lost it off the end of his stick. Great pass, but the puck dumped out to center ice. Nick Toth takes it and dumps it right back in the corner. Oswego zone, bounces in behind the net where it's picked up by Seth Williams. Williams in the corner, moving it around the horn and down the ice into the Massena zone. They wave the icing off, and Toth will come back after it. Here's Nick Toth as Oswego makes some changes. Toth comes out of the zone, out to center ice to Levine. Levine to Tubolino. Tubolino gets by his man. Here's Tubolino, lost it off the end of his stick, and it's picked up there by Papa. To the blue line and out to center ice. Joel Kraus with it. Kraus in on Toth. Toth just blocks his shot, picks up the puck and flips it into the corner. Levine has it knocked away. Comes back to Toth behind the net. He circles, trying to flip to Levine, but he gets it back again. Here's Nick Toth. Toth, backhander, banks it off the boards to center ice. Right back in the Massena zone. This time it's going to go to Chad Southwick. Southwick flips it ahead to Levine. Out to center ice, knocked away. Back in the Massena zone to lay off sides, but Southwick picks it up, moves to Catanzarite. He's upended. Nice check thrown there by Mike Lloyd, the defenseman. And he dumps it back to the Massena zone, trickles in behind, and it's Nick Toth again. Toth circles, looks to flip it to the blue line and out to center ice. Picked up there by Straley. Straley drops it to his own blue line. Puck bouncing around and into the Massena zone. With it. Miller almost got by the defense. Flipped ahead and Catanzarite turns it ahead to Tubolino. Nick takes it down right side, makes a shift right down the middle. Tubolino in behind the net, turns it around, lost it off the end of his stick. I think if he had a backhand, he would have had a goal, Coach. The puck back out to the neutral zone. And the Raiders dump it right back in the zone. That's Brandon Hall. And the puck goes in behind the net where it's picked up by Mike Papa. He flips it around the boards. And it's Ben Miller with it. High in the air to the Massena line. Bounces over Hall's stick inside Massena territory. He picks up a forechecker in Plas, but moves the puck ahead anyway to Rupert as the Raiders have made changes. Here comes Rupert. Rupert makes nice move, takes it across, flips it in the corner. Back after it is the defenseman, Cavalisi. He moves it around the boards to the blue line, not out of there. Here's Ramo with it. He'll dump to an open wing. Eric McDonald after it in the corner, flips it behind the net where it's picked up there by the defenseman Straley. Straley trying to flip ahead to his winger as they look to move it ahead and out to center ice. That was Ioso. Now the puck goes to Williams. The defenseman for Oswego dumps it off the boards, Massena zone. Back after it, Brian Hatch. Hatch Leaves it for Rupert. Rupert looks on the wing to McDonald. McDonald has it poke checked away. Here's a shot knocked down in front. Back in the circle. Here's Seth Williams turning around. He circles into the corner and flips it in behind the net. Trying to pick it up there is Murray. Murray in the corner. He's ridden off the play. The puck squirts free. And bouncing after it again is Davis. Davis centers, but Ramo is there, but we have a whistle. We're going to have a holding call on Eric McDonald of Massena.
Yeah, Eric McDonald picking up the holding call as he corralled the, I think it's number 22, Arioso behind the net after sustained pressure. The Buccaneers cycling down in the Massena end, giving Massena D a lot of problems, and when they control the situation and put a touch on the Oswego player. So with 8:57 left in this second period, 1-1 hockey game, the Buccaneers going on a power play.
Scott Murray will take the face-off against Robbie Whitcup. Off the draw, puck in the circle, back to the blue line. Here's a drive from the point, blocked by Whitcup. Whitcup takes a whack at it in the corner, squirts free to Hatch, back to Whitcup. Here's Whitcup with it, looking just to tie it up. It gets away from him, but he stays with it. Whitcup in the corner, doing battle there. The puck finally picked up by the Buccaneers as they try to set up their power play. Here's a shot right across the crease, knocked away to the point. Williams shot, fired it wide. Puck goes all the way into the corner. Picked up there, moving it back to the point. Here's Lloyd's shot. That goes way up over the net. I think it was deflected in front and off the ice surface.
Raider penalty killing unit did an excellent job last night in the closing minutes when they had to kill off 2 key penalties, and doing another great job here today. Robbie Whitcup really strong along the boards, controlling the puck and just wasting valuable seconds. Excellent job.
1-1 tie hockey game here on the Tom Post State Farm Insurance scoreboard. Our broadcast brought to you by Nationwide Insurance and your local Nationwide agents, Robert Adams and Robert White, located on East Orvis Street in Massena. Also by Massena Optics, Main Street, downtown Massena. Off the face-off, the whistle blows, and we'll do it again as the puck went up into the Oswego bench. And we'll try it one more time here. This time it's Papa taking the face-off, gets it to Williams. Here's Williams, the defenseman, cross ice, flips it back to Papa at the point. Papa to Williams in the corner. Williams in deep, steps by the check, in behind the net, lost his edge, falls down, gets it back again, and flips it around on the other side as they move it around the horn. 39 seconds left in the man advantage. Puck in the corner, Miller with it. Miller's pass intercepted by Ramo, and he lifts it down the ice. And it's going to trickle right in on Molinari. He's going to leave it, side of the net. For Straley, moves it ahead. Ramo steps in front of his pass and dumps it right back in the Oswego zone. In behind the net, Ryan Ramo throws a check, trying to come up with a puck in the corner. Where is it? It bounces in behind the net, and Straley comes up with it. Long head man to the blue line. Here comes Papa. Papa lost it off the edge of his skate. Raiders try to clear the zone. They don't. Kept in by Miller. Here's Miller in behind the net. Miller circles, turns it, sharp angle shot. That was way off net, but reaching behind to grab it is Dusty DeLille. That'll take care of the penalty, so the Massena Red Raiders kill it off.
Good job by those guys up top, Aaron and Ryan Ramo, in that penalty kill situation. Not breaking down, good discipline, holding the position, taking away the points and taking away that slot area. Excellent penalty kill.
Face-off will come in the Massena zone after the glove by Dusty DeLille. Adam Catanzarite out there to take the face-off. Tubolino and Levine. Off the draw, the puck sits in the circle. Finally, it's picked up by Tubolino. He starts down the off wing. Tubolino has it swept, checked away. Picked up by Calvarisi. Stolen away by Levine, but offsides will be the call. If Massena touches it, they don't. And the puck comes out to center ice. Catanzarite right back across. Cuts down the middle. Feeds to Levine. The shot, save made by goaltender Molinari. Levine pretty deep. And he fired it right at the breadbasket. Right back again. Levine in front, backhander right across the goal mouth. Couple of great opportunities for the Raiders. Here's Levine in the corner trying to flip it to Adam Catanzarite. Levine battles for it. Where's the puck? In front. Tubolino can't get that shot off. Catanzarite steals shot. Molinari save. Bouncing puck in the corner. Clear to the blue line. Kept in at the point by the Massena defense. Goes to Levine in the corner. Lost it off the end of his stick. Out by the blue line. And finally it's out to center ice. Here come the Buccaneers back the other way. Into the Massena zone. The bouncing puck. Top of the circle. And out by the blue line. It trickles out to center ice. And Catanzarite picks it up. Here's Catanzarite. He's checked. Falls down. The bouncing puck comes into the zone after a check by Tubolino. The Buccaneers move it back out. Levine throws a check. Interference the call.
No question. Good call. Chris Levine coming to the bench, trying to make his way, and the Raiders are maintaining the Oswego player ran into him, but just as before he got to the bench, he upended the Oswego player, but Raiders back on the penalty, and it is an interference call, whether it was intentional or not, and good pressure again by that line. Some great opportunities, and it's all because of the pressure. Oswego turned it over high, and Adam Catanzari snared it at the top, split the defense, made a nice pass on that left side to Chris Levine, but he couldn't beat Molinari. But Raiders back on the penalty kill. That's, what is it, 2 this period?
2 this period, yeah. Yep. Michaud and Whitcup out there along with Toth and Brandon Hall. And out to take the face-off, Rich Plas. Off the draw, Michaud flips it into the Oswego zone. Picked up by Williams. He'll drop it on the other side, and here come the Buccaneers. Mike Lloyd with it into the Massena zone. Michaud takes him out of the play. The bouncing puck to the point. Here's a shot. Dusty makes the save and holds on for the face-off. That shot coming from Seth Williams at the point. And right at DeLille, nobody in front. He makes the easy save.
Dusty DeLille coming into today's game with an 8.41 record, a 2.25 goals against average, and a sparkling .915 save percentage.
Face-off inside Massena territory. Rich Plas again will take it against Robbie Whitcup. Massena on the penalty kill. 1-1 tie hockey game. Whitcup picking up the loose puck, trying to move it out to center ice, and he does. Here comes Whitcup, 2-on-1 with Michaud. Here's Whitcup down the... And we got an offsides.
Ooh.
And Michaud just a half a step ahead of the play. It would have been a 2-on-1 break.
Just can't. Oh, Aaron, you got to just be disciplined. I know you're anxious out there. Robbie Whitcup, as he stole the puck inside his own defensive zone off of number 15. That's Nick Lloyd, and had a 2-on-1 situation. Aaron just trying to cheat just a little bit.
Face off just outside. Oswego zone off the draw into the Oswego zone. Picked up by Williams. He drops to Lloyd on the other side, or Straley rather. And the puck knocked away at the blue line. Michaud trying to go to Whitcup, but it's intercepted there by Plas. Plas takes it in on the off wing, drops it to the point. And Williams moving on the other side. Straley shot through traffic. Big save. Puck cleared by Michaud. Michaud looking, and he's going to dump it down the ice. Big save, big rebound, but Michaud was there to clear.
And good job by Hatch and Leduc tying up the guys in front.
Here comes Oswego again into the Massena zone. They got a man in front. The shot. DeLille makes a save. Another big rebound. This time Leduc comes up with, doesn't clear the zone. Williams tries to keep it in. He's taken out of the play. Michaud battles for it there. Flips it behind the net for Leduc. Leduc gets ridden hard into the boards. Now Michaud in there as well. And Papa is back there. It squirts free. Puck picked up again by Kraus. Kraus gets tied up by Michaud, doing a great job. Leduc trying to help out. It comes to Papa. Papa comes side of the net, centers it, goes all the way back to the point, and Williams can't keep it in. He kind of nonchalanted it, didn't keep it in. Penalties elapsed, so the Raiders dodge another bullet and kill off another penalty. We got delay offsides on Oswego as the Raiders will break it out. Here's Leduc. Headman pass just barely gets out of the zone. Picked up there and dumped by Leduc. Deep in Oswego territory. Molinari to stop it, but he loses it. Here comes Ramo trying to center to Zach Dupree. Puck comes back to the blue line. Out to center ice, Ramo picks it up. Back in the zone it goes. Dupree stays with it. It's knocked off his stick, and the Buccaneers just trickle it out to center ice. Bouncing around at the blue line. Here comes Massena's Brandon Hall. Hall makes a pretty nice move, but it's poke checked away, but comes right to Rupert, who cranks it up and blocked. Puck in the corner. Rupert again, trying to flip it to Aaron Ramo. Ramo's ridden into the boards. The puck cleared around the boards. Hall keeps it in at the right point. He'll dump it right back in the corner. Zach Dupree with it. Knocked away from him. The puck sits side of the net. Dumped in behind by the Oswego defense. 1-1 tie hockey game in the waning moments of the second period. Brandon Hall pinches in. Dumps it in behind the net again. Here's a check by Dupree. Puck squirts free into the corner, around the horn, and just trickles out to center ice. Brandon Hall picks it up at his own blue line, turns it around, flips it into the Oswego line. Into the zone it goes, back in the corners. Massena makes a line change. Puck in behind Adam Catanzari. Catanzari looking in front for Tubolino. Comes right back to him. Here's a shot, save made Molinari. And he holds on for the faceoff.
Young Derek Rupert, again, sophomore mistakes out there. He's got to learn to trigger that puck a little bit quicker. Raiders with pressure, and I think it was number 19, Brandon Hall, jumped into the rush, created the scoring opportunity, and Derek just waited too long before he teed it up and allowed number 7, Straley, to come across and block the shot.
3:10 left in the period. On the Tom Post State Farm Insurance scoreboard, a 1-1 tie hockey game. Broadcast brought to you by Seaway Orthopedics, Dr. Bedros Bakurtsian and the staff. Outer Andrew Street in Massena. Tubolino on the faceoff. Puck cleared to the blue line, kept in at the point. Here's a shot by the Massena defenseman. I think that was Leduc, and the save is made. Puck goes in the corner, picked up by Williams. Williams moves it just out to center ice. Here comes Hyde with it. Hyde dumps it in the Massena zone. Hatch after it there for Massena. Brian Hatch rips it around behind the net to Aaron Leduc. He throws it in front. Leduc gets it back, though. Bounces around in the circle. Here's Leduc again picking it up. Bouncing it to Catanzari. He banks it ahead, and out to center ice it goes. Going to trickle back inside Oswego territory. Molinari leaves it for his defenseman, who dumps it to center ice. Picked up by Catanzari. Here's Catanzari back across. He steps by the check in the corner, looks to center, but it's knocked away. Back to the blue line and out to center ice as Leduc can't keep it in. Rolls all the way down the ice. You're going to wave the icing off, and Hatch comes back after it. Just over 2 minutes left in the period. 1-1 tie hockey game here at Romney Fieldhouse. Raiders trying to clear the zone. They don't. Puck in front, and coming back is Catanzari. It squirts into the corner. Back to the blue line. Buccaneers look to keep it in. They still have control of it. In front, here's the shot. Save made. DeLille. Puck goes into the corner. And around the horn it goes, controlled by the Buccaneers. They try to move it in front, but it's knocked away. Now Hatch checked out of the play. The bouncing puck in behind. Leduc throws a check. It comes bouncing free in the corner, and they move it back to the point. Here's a drive from the point, deflected wide. Puck goes back to the other point, and finally the Raiders pick it up, and Tubolino will move it ahead to Levine. Here's Levine trying to barge his way through. The defenseman does a good job, Straley, keeping him out of the play. The puck bouncing free, trickles out to center ice. And finally it's dumped from the red line back in the Massena zone. Stopped in behind the net. Picked up there by Brandon Hall. Hall comes out of his own zone. Steps by one check. Here's Hall's headman to Ramo. Ramo dumps it across the blue line. Whitcup after it. Can he keep it in the zone? He does, but it's intercepted by Straley. Straley drops on the other side to his partner, Lloyd. Lloyd, headman pass out to center ice. Here's Straley as we go into the final minute of the period. Shot from the point is gloved by DeLille. He's going to hold on for the faceoff. That wasn't on net, but he's going to hold on anyway.
Again, Brandon Hall, we've talked about him a lot. 6 foot, about 175-pound sophomore. It really shows Jerry some excellent moves out there. Just got to get confidence and believe he can make those moves. Those end-to-end rushes, good speed, good heads up. He sees the ice. He's going to be a good one.
Rich Plass out to take the faceoff against Aaron Michaud. 1-1 tie hockey game here on the Tom Post State Farm Insurance scoreboard. Off the draw, puck in the circle, bouncing around Whitcup. Robbie Whitcup, he's got Ramo breaking. He bounces it ahead. Ramo trying to catch up, and he can't quite get there. Molinari steers it in behind the net to his defenseman. Puck flipped around on the other side. Michaud and Williams race after. Williams gets there first, moves it ahead, but not out of the zone. Now it trickles out to center ice. Going to come to Toth. Toth to Ramo. Bounces by him and goes in behind the net. Picked up there by Gehan, the defenseman. Moves it in the corner. Ramo trying to center, goes to the side of the net where it's picked up by Williams. We're down to 19 seconds left. Williams circles behind his own net, picks up Whitcup in a forecheck, drops it over on the other side for Gehan. Back to the point, kept in at the point by Hall, now knocked away from him. Here comes Oswego back the other way into the Massena zone. 5 seconds left, puck goes in the corner. 2 seconds left, and it bounces into the circle as the buzzer sounds. So no scoring in that second period against Mike Papa. And they drop the puck and fortunately turn off that awful music, and we're ready to go. And you know, the music itself isn't bad, it's just the sound system. Here comes Ramo off the face-off, takes it in the zone, in the corner. Oswego territory, looks to center, it bounced off Whitcup's stick, and the Buccaneers break it back out. On the wing is Miller. Into the Massena zone he goes, has it knocked away, gets it back again. He's knocked down, but the follow-up shot is blocked, and it comes to Michaud. Michaud just moves it across the blue line out to center ice. Picked up by Williams. Ramo checks him. The puck squirts free. Whitcup was headed for the net. He almost had it, but couldn't quite come up with the puck. Buccaneers dump it. That's going to be an icing. No, they wave it off. Well, it went through the crease. I don't know. They didn't call the icing anyway. Raiders clear it around the boards and out to center ice. Catanzarite, he's checked off the puck, and it bounces free. Massena making line changes here. And maybe if we have a break, we can go into their nightmare bus ride last night. Here comes Oswego, though, in the Massena zone. Centering pass in front goes in behind the net. And I'm not sure if that was on or not, but it was a good opportunity. Here's a shot from the point, deflected in! And the Buccaneers take the lead. 2-1, a big goal early in the third period for Oswego.
It's going to be Matt McNamara. He's the guy that just prior to that redirected one wide, but the Raiders just couldn't get control of that puck on their own end. They threw it, the Buccaneers threw it back to the point. I think that was Nick Lloyd. Probably took the shot 15, but cruising through the crease, number 2, Matt McNamara, not very big, 5'7", 142-pound junior, and he just redirected it by goaltender Dusty DeLille.
That coming at the 1:07 mark of the third period, so the Raiders now have got some work to do, trailing by 1. Here comes Catanzarite in the corner, picking the puck center in front, Tubolino. Levine shot saved, gets the Levine, scores a goal! Chris Levine ties this one right up as he got the shot, got the rebound, put it up over Molinari, who had fallen down, and we're tied again.
If at first you don't succeed, big Chris Levine picking up his own rebound after a nice move down low by Nick Tubolino to get the puck out in front. And Adam Catanzarite running some interference out there. Levine got the first shot. Molinari made the save, but it came right back out to Levine, and he took his time and had Molinari down, and he roofed it up underneath the crossbar, and the Raiders have struck right back and tied this hockey game, but that's a big one when you can answer the bell, come right back to score after the opposition is just
14 seconds between the two goals.
Wow.
That's a big goal for Massena to tie things up. Now the puck to the Oswego line. Dumped by Williams deep in Massena territory. In behind the net it goes. Brandon Hall takes a whack at it. Bouncer in the circle, goes in behind the net. Tubolino tries to rip it around to Levine. Levine knocked away from him. Comes to Brandon Hall again. Flips it ahead for Levine. Levine lost it off the end of his stick, out by the blue line, and it's dumped into the corner. Still in the Massena zone. Here's the pass right across the goal mouth, and Dusty has to make a save. Levine picks it up. He's upended behind the net. The puck bounces free in behind Olsen after it takes a poke at it. The puck bounces into the slot. Brandon Hall flips it ahead, Catanzarite to Levine. Here's Chris Levine from the red line, gets a shot in behind the net, and the Raiders are going to make a line change here. Now the puck inside Oswego territory. 2-2 tie hockey game, kept in the zone by Rupert. Rupert trying to slide it through into the corner, goes off to defenseman. Now it comes bouncing to McDonald. Back to the point. Here's Hatch with it. His shot goes into the corner again. McDonald racing, but he's checked out of the play, and the Buccaneers move it down the ice. And that's going to be an icing call. And the Raiders will have a face-off back in Oswego territory. 12:29 left. 2-2 tie hockey game. 2 very quick goals here.
They've given that second Massena, Chris Levine, unassisted. But I'll tell you, Nick Tubolino had a lot to do with that one. Boy, oh boy. But Chris Levine is tied at 14 seconds after the Buccaneers have gotten ahead 2-1 on Matt McNamara's goal. Chris Levine, his 5th of the year, coming at the 1:21 mark. And until we hear otherwise, we're going to give Nick an assist.
Here's Michaud's shot right off the face-off, and that's just wide. Puck around the boards, and it's cleared out to center ice. Nick Toth is there to dump it right ahead, back in Oswego territory. Pierce Smith after it there. He'll drop it in behind. It comes to Nick Lloyd. Lloyd in the corner, moving it on the wing and out to center ice. Long rink-wide pass. Here comes Oswego into the Massena zone. Ben Miller tries to move by, gets by the defenseman, gets a shot right on. Puck cleared back to the blue line. Here's a shot, saved by Dusty DeLille. Puck comes back to the blue line again, kept in the corner. Buccaneers try to center it, swept in behind the net. It bounces to the blue line. Whitcup trying to clear the zone. He can't. Goes to Miller in the corner. Miller's pass is blocked by Nick Toth. Puck comes free to Kraus. Kraus has it poked away. Comes to Miller behind the net. But Nick is there, Nick Toth, I should say. He'll bounce it off the boards and out to center ice. There's going to be a foot race for it. Molinari's going to have to play it. Michaud gets there first. And the bouncer, he still controls it out by the blue line. He flips it through. And Molinari was waiting for an icing call, and Michaud got there before it crossed the red line.
Almost got burnt on that one. Poor judgment by the goaltender.
Here's Williams moving it ahead to the blue line, out to center ice. 2-on-1 for Oswego. They take it across. It's Papa. He drops the puck, but it's knocked away, and it bounces in behind the net. After it there, Krause right across the goal mouth, and Dusty, oh boy, that went off defenseman's stick and almost got between his legs, but he dropped on top of it and holds on for the face-off. I'll tell you what, this line, that Papa line, was out there for a long time.
He was out there, and Ben Miller just prior to that in that previous rush undressed the Raider defenseman, went right around him. But and again, that redirection off the Raider forward.
Actually, it was a forward, wasn't it?
Yeah, Nick Tabellino, but Dusty had to be quick to corral that one.
Catanzarite off the faceoff. Puck in the circle, sits there. Here's a shot in behind the net. Chris Olsen after it. Has it knocked away. Comes to Catanzarite. He'll flip it ahead for Tubolino. He moves it out to center ice, knocked away back in the Massena zone. Olsen flips it ahead, not out of the zone. Here comes Oswego in Plas, in behind the net, knocked away from him. Where's the puck? Side of the net. Around into the corner it goes to Catanzarite. Adam has it knocked away to the blue line out to center ice. Chris Levine lost it off the end of his stick. Here's Williams circling in his own zone. Williams circles back again as Levine bothering him. Here's Williams, finally he bounces it out to center ice. It's directed into the Massena zone, goes in behind the net. Nick Toth rips around the boards for McDonald. McDonald flips it ahead. Tubolino, he's got Catanzarite breaking. Here's Tubolino, centers it right in front. Oh, he fired it just wide. Nice two-way pass play, just didn't work. Now the puck to the blue line, not out of the zone. Kept in by McDonald, he directs it toward the net. Molinari stops it, flips to his defenseman, Williams. Williams looks up ice. Tell you what, he logs a lot of ice time, Williams.
Good hockey player.
To the Oswego line, they turn it back the other way and dump it deep in Massena territory. Dusty DeLille stops it behind the net, leaves it for Chad Southwick. Southwick has it knocked away, flips to the blue line, and out to center ice it goes. Into Oswego territory, right back to the neutral zone, right back into Oswego territory, delay offsides, but the Buccaneers clear. Flipping ahead to the Massena line. Chad Southwick is there. He'll bank it ahead to McDonald. McDonald can't catch up with it. It's dumped right back in Massena territory. In behind the net is Southwick. Southwick starts out right side, looks, flips it ahead out to the neutral zone off a stick. It trickles. Zach Dupree after it. Dupree throws a check. The puck squirts free. We're going to have a penalty on Oswego. I think it's going to be a roughing against the Buccaneers.
There's going to be a roughing call. The Oswego player, I think that's going to be number 15, Nick Lloyd. He and number 17, Eric McDonald, working down low, and Eric using that strength of his, and Lloyd just kind of reefed him in the head, and the official right there. Massena going to get a power play, and they need it right now. In the last few minutes, I think the Buccaneers have a little more spring in their legs than Massena has, Jerry. So let's see if we can break this 2-2 tie. 9:03 left in the third period. 2-2 hockey game.
Oh, he talked about the bus ride. Apparently, after the game last night, well, the bus got lost, and they were staying in New Hartford, the team was. We came to Oswego. We were in our room before they even got to their room, and it was just one of those situations. They didn't get to their room till about 1 o'clock.
They took the scenic tour.
The scenic tour. Somehow ended up in Boonville. Oh, boy, I'll tell you. Whitcup out there on the power play. Face off right side of the Oswego zone. Raiders looking for a power play goal here. Comes to Ramo, trying to center, but it's knocked away, and down the ice it goes. Slowly into the Massena zone, and Nick Toth comes back after it. Here's Toth picking it up. He'll flip to Michaud. Michaud out of his own zone. Back to Toth. Toth gathers it in from the red line, dumps it deep, and around the boards it goes. Ramo charging in after it. Trying to go to Whitcup. He does. Here's Whitcup in behind the net. Looks to center, has it knocked away, gets it back again. Whitcup going for Levine behind the net. Levine to Whitcup. Whitcup will go to Ramo at the 45. Back to the point. Here's Nick Toth. Winds up. The shot is deflected. And he just took too much time. Ben Miller able to get over and put a stick on it before the shot went off.
Ben Miller, again, he's not very big either. 5'8", 145, but he used that speed there as the Raiders gained control of the puck down low. Got it back to the point. Nick Toth took a little bit too much time and allowed Miller to come out and get the stick on it and deflect it up into the net.
Whitcup out there to take the face, just across the blue line in the Oswego zone. Off the draw, Ramo flips it into the corner, but it's knocked away. Out to center ice. Toth with it. He'll take it right down the middle, crank it up right on Molinari, makes the save. Williams takes the puck off the rebound. Here's Williams looking to dump it, and down the ice it goes. Ramo had a chance to block that, but kind of waved at it, and didn't happen.
Got to use the glove, not the stick.
Nick Toth, here's a shot, and Dusty has to make the save. Raiders kind of threw it around the boards, and stepping in front was Plass, and he got a shot off. Now Plass with it, loses it off the end of his stick. Ramo, he'll go back to Toth, and the Raiders look to move it ahead. To Michaud, a little bit too far, knocked right back in Massena territory. Nick Toth, we're down to 9 seconds left. Toth dumps one right into the corner. Raiders racing in after, but Williams gets there first. Kind of an ineffective power play, and they dump it down the ice. And the penalty, he laughs, but they don't call the icing. Okay, change is being made. Raiders break out of the zone. Here comes Brandon Hall. He's rubbed off the play. The Buccaneers pick up the loose puck, flip it in behind the net. And around the corner it goes. Here comes Oswego. Out to center ice. Tubolino steps in front of it. He'll go back the other way and dumps it in the corner. In behind the net it goes. Straley after it. Tubolino throws a check. The bouncing puck comes back to the 45, picked up there by Ben Miller, and he'll start it out. Miller for Oswego. Nice stick handling. He's a little guy, but he can dangle. He gets by the defense, but he knocked it in behind. Tubolino for Massena. Looks. Takes it back to the other side. Starts out left side of his goal. Flips on the wing to McDonald. Here's a shot from the point as it didn't get out of the zone. Comes to Catanzari. He'll flip it ahead to McDonald, gets by him to the Oswego line. They move it back to Miller. Miller lost it off the end of his stick. Now he'll bank it off the glass or try it again, and it goes into the penalty box.
Mentioned Ben Miller. We've mentioned his name several times. He's got about 5 or 6 gears in there, Jerry, and he shifted into high. And good job by the Raider defenseman to keep him to the outside, but he can really scoot.
On the Snyder and Snyder Attorneys at Law scoreboard, it's a 2-2 tie hockey game. Broadcast brought to you by North Country Savings Bank. Locations in Massena, Potsdam, Canton, Ogdensburg. Home of the no closing cost mortgage. Off the face-off. Aaron Leduc flipping it ahead to Rupert. Off his stick, right back to Leduc. He'll pick it up again. He'll try the other side. This time it's Aaron Ramo dumping it deep in Oswego territory. Geehan after it there. He steps by the check. Puck stolen by Rupert. Knocked off his stick into the corner. Geehan picking it up again to the blue line. And just out to center ice. It comes to Dupree. Dupree flipping it ahead for Leduc. Leduc to Rupert. Rupert dumps it deep again. In the corner it goes. We got changes here as the Raiders looking to make a line change. Here comes the puck in front. The shot deflected, doesn't get through, trickles out to center ice. Aaron Leduc takes a whack at it, and into the zone it goes. Here comes Plass, his shot right on. The rebound cleared by Whitcup into the corner. Puck around the boards, squirts in front of the net, and it'll come to Ramo on the other side. He banks it out to center ice. Bouncing around there, trickles inside Oswego territory, in behind the net. 2-2 tie hockey game. We're in the third period, about 5.5 left. Long headman pass deflected up into the stands. I'll tell you, there's a guy up there not paying attention, and he just missed getting clocked.
Good shift out there by that Rupert line. Derek Rupert, Zach Dupree on one side, and Aaron Ramo on the other. They just had the Buccaneers bottled up. Just good hustle out there. Super forecheck, played it just the way you draw it up.
Face off right at center ice. Whitcup out there against Mary. Off the draw. Whitcup takes, well, that's actually Ramo taking a whack at it. In the corner it goes. After it is Lloyd. He and Michaud go together. And the puck in behind him in the corner. Now Michaud kicks it away. Takes it from behind the net. Looking. Back to the point. Here's Hall. Winds up. Quick shot. Doesn't get through. Goes to Michaud. He fires it. Goes in the corner. Ramo after it there. Can he get it? No, but it goes back to the point. Nick Toth, shot on the fly, knocked down. Goes into the circle. Bounce pass. Toth, did he keep it in? No, he didn't. It trickles back to the Massena line. Brandon Hall. Hall backhands it to neutral zone. Michaud banking it free. Raiders making changes. In the zone it goes. Back out to center ice. Michaud. Little stick artistry there. He finally gets knocked down, but Brandon Hall follows up and dumps it. They wave the icing off. They don't call icing here unless it's really icing, do they? Puck around the boards to the blue line, kept in by Levine. He backhands one right on, and Molinari's going to dive on it and hold on for the face-off.
Down to 4:17 left in this third period, and the Raiders have found their second wind. Again, their forechecking system doing a good job. And on the other side of the coin, the Buccaneers do a good job moving that puck D to D and then hit that wide side wing. But good fast pace period. Each team coming up with a goal 17 seconds apart exactly. Was that 17, Jared?
14. 14. Off the face-off. Levine trying to get the shot off. Knocked off his stick. Geehan moves it around the boards. Comes into the circle. Buccaneers control and bank it out to center ice. After it is Leduc in behind the net. He takes it by the check, then lost it, gets it back again. He'll rip it around the boards for Adam Catanzari, who picks it up, moves it ahead to center ice. After it there is Tubolino, and he can't quite find the handle. Puck crosses into the Oswego zone. That should have been offsides, but it's not. It comes out anyway. Flipped ahead. Oh, here comes Oswego breaking in. They got a 2-on-1. Hatch, big sweep check to break it up. Made a great play, and the Raiders move it out to center ice. Just one of those things, and Brian Hatch just made a nice play. Now the puck trickles across the blue line. Offsides, no, they have to wait. They'll flip it on the other side, inside Massena territory. Circling around is that Miller back to the point, and it's kept in by a sprawling defenseman who made a very good play there. That's Gehan. Puck in the corner now. It's Joel Krause. Squirts free in front, and they try to get it to Miller. His shot scores a goal! Williams gets the goal, and the Buccaneers go ahead. And I thought they weren't going to see him. He was right in the slot. They got him the goal. Dusty was screened, and it's a 3-2 Oswego lead.
And that Raider unit out there were just out of gas, and they had an opportunity to jump on the puck behind the net, and the Raider forward looked at the defenseman. They looked at each other, and no one went and got the puck, and Oswego threw it out in front, and as you mentioned, Williams low shot from just about the inside the top of the circle on the right side, and I don't think Dusty DeLille ever saw it. Was right along the ice and beat him to the stick side, and 3-12, boy, oh boy, that's a tough one.
So the Raiders have to try to come back and get another one here. Williams gets the goal. I don't know who got the assist, but we'll try to pick that up in a moment. In the meantime, the puck out in the neutral zone, and it goes up apparently into the bench, so we'll have a face-off again.
Again, the Raiders they got out there a little too long. That line was out of gas, the defense out of gas. They should have cleared the zone, didn't. Looked at each other, the defenseman and the forward, and they left it for the Oswego player. He threw it out in front, and Williams cashed it in.
Miller picking up one assist, and number 14, who is Gehan, the defenseman, picking up the assist as well. So that's the go-ahead goal, 3-2. The Raiders with tall order now, trailing by a goal. Back to the neutral zone. Hall with it, poke checked away. Whitcup will come back after it in his own end. Whitcup picks it up, flips it ahead for Mishaw. Doesn't clear the zone though, and the puck bounces in behind the net. Whitcup after it there in the corner. Picked up by the Buccaneers though. They try the wraparound, they got a man in front. What a save by DeLille. Did you see that glove? I couldn't. It moved so quickly as the loose puck came in front, and Dusty DeLille just made a sparkling save.
I tell you, this were the pros. ESPN would have had that save on about a dozen times. Outstanding, and Matt McNamara just shakes his head. He's coming to the bench. How in the world? Turnover behind the net. They threw it out in front, and McNamara made no mistake. Quick off the stick, but somehow DeLille with the right hand. Fantastic.
That was just unbelievable. What a save that was for Dusty DeLille. Off the faceoff, puck in the zone. Mishaw just lets it go, and it's going to trickle right in on Molinari, and he'll steer it in behind the net to his defenseman, Gehan. Puck stolen away, right in front of Ramo, and he tried to center. It comes back to the point, kept in at the point. Here's Mishaw trying to center off his stick, and the Buccaneers move it to the Massena line. Here's Hall with it, trying to come up with it. He stays with it, holds on, doesn't quite clear it, but Whitcup will pick it up. Here's Whitcup trying to move it. It's knocked away. Bounces back inside Massena territory. Here's a shot. Ooh, just wide. Whitcup picking it up. We're down to 1:57. Raiders trail by 1. Here's a shot. Williams, he still elects to dump it into the corner. And Hall trying to knock it free, and does. Ahead to Michaud. Michaud's got Ramo breaking. Here comes Ramo. Trying to bust by the defenseman. He gets by him. Here comes Ramo. Finally, it's poke checked away by Williams. Good play. And the puck in behind the net. Williams sits on it. Where is it? It's underneath, I guess. Williams has it underneath him. Yep. And we'll have a face-off. 1:31 left in the third period. Face-off in the Oswego zone. 3-2 the score in favor of the Buccaneers. Do you pull them yet?
No, a little early yet. You got a minute 31. Again, both these clubs played last night, but again, home cooking. Oswego's sleeping in their own beds and have to travel, and they have the fresher legs right now, Jerry. And the Raiders are going to have to reach down in that bag of tricks and just see if they can pull something up, because they're staring defeat right in the face.
Nick Tubolino will take the face-off, but he's going to call a timeout.
Timeout, good timeout, Coach Latham. Give his club a chance to get some extra oxygen out there and draw up a little play. 131. He might have Dusty come up at the blue line and to see how if we gain control of the face-off. If we gain control of the face-off, good control, then he might pull him. But wait and see. But I don't think he's going to pull him right this second.
On the Snyder and Snyder Attorneys at Law scoreboard, Oswego leading Massena 3-2. Our broadcast also brought to you by Massena Memorial Hospital, quality health care in the Seaway Valley. By the men and women of Alcoa's Massena operations. By Seaway Tire for quality tires and great car care, Restorva Street in Massena. By Massena Savings and Loan, Main Street, Massena. By Mohawk Furniture, the home of tax-free furniture, Route 37, Akwesasne. 3-2, the Raiders trailing by 1 with 1:31 left in regulation.
1:31, and Coach Latham's staff trying to, again, pull something out of that bag of tricks if they can just get these youngsters to reach down and suck it up. The key is this face-off. They got to gain control. It's deep in the Oswego end to the right of Molinari, and let's see, Dusty's staying back, but I'd bring him up to the top of that the circles up there. If Oswego gains control, they can easily get back in there.
Whitcup's going to take the draw, probably against Mike Papa. Face off to the right of Molinari with 1:31 left. Raiders trailing by a goal. Off the draw, the puck bounces. Whitcup in the corner. Bounces free. Whitcup comes up with it, trying to center it in behind the net. Michaud centers it. It bounces in front, but is picked up there by the defenseman. Moves it around. Actually, that's Miller. Miller to the blue line, kept in by Hall. Hall trying to center, but it's knocked down. And the puck dumped down the ice. The good thing Dusty was there because he has to make the save. Flips it ahead for Nick Toth. His headman pass knocked down. Into the zone it goes, though. Bounces free as Whitcup got a piece of it. Under a minute to go. Puck bounces into the corner. Whitcup knocked away, but he stays with it. Has it taken off his stick by Nick Lloyd. Puck around the other side. We got the extra man out there as the Raiders don't have the puck, though, in the Oswego zone. Now they do. Here's Whitcup. He's got room. His shot. Where is it? It's out by the blue line and out to center ice. Tubolino with it. Tubolino to Brandon Hall. Hall waits, takes it across. Hall centers to Whitcup. Oh, it goes off his leg, and now the puck will be iced by the Buccaneers. And, well, 24 seconds left. Time for the last hurrah.
Still plenty of time. 24 seconds, that's enough time, and they had good pressure that time, a couple of good shots. They never got through, hit a couple of legs, and that last drive, number 19, Brandon Hall, elected to pass when the guy he passed to was breaking to the net. He should have fired the puck and got it on net, hoped for a rebound or whatever, but again, he's only a sophomore, and Coach has got a lot of confidence in him. He's got him out on that point. Okay, we've got Hall on 1 point. Nick Toth, Tubolino, the extra attacker, Michaud, Whitcup, and Ramo. Face off to the right in the Oswego zone. 24 seconds left off the draw. Ramo's shot, deflects in front, and into the corner it goes. Picked up by the Buccaneers. They'll dump it around on the other side, move it D to D, and they flip it around. Pinching in is Hall. He takes it in the corner. We're down to 10 seconds left. Puck bounces free. Where is it? They still dangle for it. Bounces in front, and it's going to come to Nick Toth with 3 seconds left. The shot, he fires it wide, and the Buccaneers hold on.